I've been talking about this since I started the channel. What is it? Well, two things I've been talking about. One is the federal deficits and the national debt. The second thing has been talking about the infinite money glitch that Mr. Michael Saylor at MicroStrategy. Now it's not MicroStrategy anymore. It's Strategy. They changed the name of the company to Strategy, and they changed their logo to a Bitcoin. As we know, Strategy is the largest corporate Bitcoin holder on the planet. So this is my weekly recap, because not a week goes by that there is something new that Strategy is doing. Well, one thing for sure they're doing is they're adding to their Bitcoin holdings as a corporate asset for the last 11 or 12 weeks now. Okay. And but I also want you guys to understand something, that if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, you should not trade Bitcoin. You should trade the proxies or the surrogates of Bitcoin, such as Strategy, such as the 2x ETFs, which I've been doing for the last 6 months or so. I think those need to be traded. Don't trade Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin if you believe in Bitcoin, if you believe it's a finite asset, if you believe it's some sort of an inflation hedge, then you need to own some Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin, and I've been DCAing this year, all year. After 6 years of not having it, I bought it 6 years ago. I've been holding it. And what I do is, when I do buy it on Coinbase, I take it out. If it gets to a decent size, I take it out, put it in cold storage. So that's what you should do as well. So you have custody of your Bitcoin, as opposed to some Coinbase having custody of your Bitcoin. And, there are certain things that are going to happen with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to be used as collateral in many, many different assets and new programs and new products that are going to be offered to the consumer. So in this week's recap of Strategy and Michael Saylor, with his infinite money glitch on Wall Street, MicroStrategy now owns 478,740 Bitcoins as of February 10th. And I'm pretty sure they're going to buy more this weekend, because they just issued a $550 million perpetual preferred, convertible preferred, say that again twice, for about $550 million. So they're going to step up and buy. But Bitcoin is just going in the trading range at the moment between 95 and 105. I think it did hit 110 once, but that was short, maybe like a few hours. So not MicroStrategy. Strategy states the average purchase price at $62,473 per Bitcoin, with a total cost of $27 billion so far. So obviously they do have a 50-60% profit on it at 95. Okay. So, but more importantly, I've been talking about this until I'm going to do it to guide you guys the correct way. There is something, MicroStrategy as a company, or Strategy, I got to get used to saying Strategy, not MicroStrategy. Strategy as a company is an existing company that they sell some sort of legacy software that's not doing well. Okay. As a company, MicroStrategy has, at the moment, with all the ATM shares at the market sales that they have done to purchase Bitcoin immediately, what they have done is they have increased or diluted the shareholders. Okay, they have increased the share count. At the moment, last time I checked, which was yesterday, MicroStrategy had over 240 million shares outstanding. Hold your breath, because now the shareholders have allowed Michael Saylor and Strategy to increase the common share count from 330 million to 10.3 billion shares. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen at the market sales? Bitcoin purchases. They're using that as a treasury asset. But going back to that, MicroStrategy at 250 million shares, let's say, outstanding float and outstanding shares. Today's value at 380, I think, $328 or $330 a share, okay, is worth about, I don't know, 82 billion, 85 billion, let's say, okay. At its peak, it was about $540 a share. Then, should MicroStrategy sell at this kind of premium? Because the business, the legacy business, software business that they're in, to me, at most is worth $5 billion. Maybe, if I'm generous, $10 billion. Well, you guys see this yellow chart right here. That's something called NAV premium, and I call it MNAV multiplier to its net asset value. What is what is Strategy's true worth? The Bitcoin holdings. So as of today, 478,740 Bitcoin as of February 10th, to be factual, it times 95,000, let's say, or 90 or 100,000, let's make it 100,000, even, is worth $48 billion. Well, why should the company that has no growth in its actual business sell for a premium? So that's what it's called MNAV at $540 a share. So MicroStrategy was $540 a share when Bitcoin was 100,000. Bitcoin is still 100,000. Now it's $330 a share. So meaning MNAV, as you guys can see in the yellow chart, has been decreasing. So the NAV premium chart displays the premium of MicroStrategy stock over its net asset value in Bitcoin. There's a website for this, wonderful website. You guys go check it out, indicating how much more or less the market values the company's stock compared to its Bitcoin holdings alone. Okay, so that MNAV, I look at that MNAV, it got up to about 3+, which was very high at 540. Then what did Wall Street do? Wall Street came in and Wall Street shorted MicroStrategy and bought Bitcoin. That was a perfect hedge. Okay. All right. Then what happened? Now MNAV, now Bitcoin is still about 100,000 where it was. Now MicroStrategy is $330 a share. Okay. So that means MNAV is shrinking. So my point is, I am trading MicroStrategy. I am trading for it to have this kind of premium over its net asset value in Bitcoin holdings, should it? That's not my concern. But my thought process is every time MNAV gets to 1.5 to 1.6 to 1.7, I'm a buyer of MicroStrategy and I'm a buyer of its proxies or its ETFs, specifically MSTU, MSTZ. Those are the 2x ETFs of Strategy, not MicroStrategy. So, by the way, they did not change the stock symbol, okay? MSTR is still the stock symbol. So my thing is, when it gets up to 2, 2.5, 2.3, 2.5, I'm a seller of MicroStrategy. So I figured that there's going to be this range between 1.7 and 2.5. And please be careful when you are trading MicroStrategy. Again, do not trade Bitcoin. Just DCA Bitcoin, dollar cost average Bitcoin. You'll be fine. Because we continue doing what we're doing with our fiscal and monetary policies, there's no end in sight of printing. So when they print, gold makes new all-time highs, stocks make new all-time highs, real estate makes new all-time highs, all the hard assets make new all-time highs, and it's pretty evident why it's happening. And Bitcoin is another one. So do not trade Bitcoin. Trade MicroStrategy if you need to, but it's a $300 plus stock. Not everybody can, and they have options, very juicy premiums on those options. But what I've been trading is selling cash secure puts. Every time Bitcoin falls to 95,000, MicroStrategy pulls back. When that pulls back, the 2x ETFs pull back. The symbol is MSTU for the 2x ETF. You guys can go look at a chart of it. What happens? MSTU has been ranging between, yes, there is slippage on these 2x ETFs, by the way. Be careful with that. And I've talked about that on a previous video. When MSTU gets down to about 8 range, which it was today, actually, on the low end, 810, 820, I'm a buyer of MSTU because Bitcoin is at 93 to 95,000. And when Bitcoin rallies to 105, my strategy rallies to 400. When that rallies to 400 from 320, okay, what is that? That's $80. $80 on $320 stock is about 25%. Well, this 2x ETF is going to go up by 50%. And then, so that means it goes from about 8 to 12, 12.5, and then it comes back again. So I've been selling cash secure puts every time it gets to 8 range. If I get assigned, which I have a few times, I just turn around and sell the calls immediately. And these are all weekly, by the way. No, I'm not doing anything long-term with this, because Bitcoin could crack 95 or 92,000 and could go to 70,000. Then obviously my strategy is going to go down to maybe into the mid 250s or low 200s, right? then obviously the 2x ETF is going to suffer as well. So I'm really careful doing it not more than weekly options with this, but it's been like my little ATM machine over the last 6 months or so. And I have made quite a decent amount of money on that. I'm not putting all eggs in my basket, but I am trading MSTR and MSTU as opposed to BTC, Bitcoin itself.